can we take a moment to appreciate all the incredible performers who helped pull off all the stunts in the Fast and Furious franchise? We even saw one of them on screen during the Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift, even though many of us may not have recognized him. The fisherman is actually Japanese racing legend Keiichi Tsuchiya, who's known for his love of drifting and worked as a stunt coordinator on the film. Not only did he get to have a cameo in front of the camera, but he also spent some time in the driver's seat. We saw Tsuchiya making fun of Sean Boswell, but he also performed many of the scenes in which Sean learns how to drift, as well as some as the Drift King. In The Fate of the Furious, there were no stunt performers needed when Dom Toretto shared a kiss with the insidious villain, Cypher. Vin Diesel couldn't stop talking about the scene in the lead-up to the film's release, and seemed confident actress Charlize Theron loved this on-screen interaction. But Theron fired back, calling him insane. She disagreed with his interpretation of their lip lock and accused Diesel of not getting into the moment, leaving her to act as the aggressor. Apparently, Diesel felt insulted by Theron's side of the story and insisted that he's not a dead fish. He insists that anyone watching The Fate of the Furious can see that he put his all into making this little bit of movie magic happen. There are tons of talented people working on the Fast and Furious franchise, but where would they be without all those many vehicles? As you can imagine, the life of a Fast and Furious car isn't usually very long, and they go through a ton of different cars in each movie. In the first film, they destroyed 78 cars, and in the second film, they upped it to 130. The Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift cost the franchise 249 cars, but the fourth movie was much more conservative, 190. Fast 5, however, took 260. Fast and Furious 6 used a whopping 350 cars, and it took 230 vehicles to make Furious 7. You have to break a few eggs to make an omelet, and apparently you have to total a few cars to make a Fast and Furious film. And yes, in Furious 7, they really did drop cars out of a plane. When the vehicles fell, they did so alongside skydiving cameramen. These were fully functioning vehicles we saw free falling through the sky. Or at least, they were functional before the fall. If you've ever struggled driving through snow, you can probably imagine what a nightmare it was to film the big ice chase scene in The Fate of the Furious. Even by the sky-high standards of the franchise, seeing Dom jumping over a nuclear submarine to dodge a heat-seeking missile is absolute insanity, so it's no surprise it was a nightmare to pull off behind the scenes. In the movie, the scene takes place in Russia, but it was filmed on Lake Møvaten in Iceland. It had to be filmed while the ice was completely frozen, which meant winter in Iceland and pulling it off before the script was even completed. They used Zambonis to clear the snow off the ice, and pyrotechnics were used to simulate the ice cracking. The team also hid explosives under the ice, dragged cars around, and then detonated the devices right on schedule. Poor Tyrese Gibson struggled to see and had to use hand signals to communicate with the crew while he was behind the wheel. Some scenes in the franchise are more difficult to capture than others, but the train heist from Fast 5 definitely put a huge dent in the movie budget. Director Justin Lin really wanted to raise the stakes and heighten the action, so instead of sticking to purchasing cars, he also splurged on an actual train. The train heist sequence cost an incredible $25 million, including the price of 600 yards of train tracks to stretch out across Arizona. And of course, even though it cost a pretty penny, the train was totally destroyed during the process. It's even more impressive when you realize the entire budget of the movie was $125 million. 1/5 of that was on this single scene. At first, the studio rejected this line item on the budget proposal outright, but Lin managed to convince them using some persuasive storyboarding and computer simulations.